Today, I want to talk about the importance of planning your marketing. What I've seen as a business owner since I started is a focus on planning just your social media marketing. And I totally get it because it's easy to do and it's fun and it really doesn't challenge you a lot is what I have found with social media. Once you kind of get over the hurdle of how often you want to post and all that, social media planning is pretty simple. But really, you need a comprehensive marketing plan to be successful in your business. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So, hi, my name is Mary Sue Dahill. I'm the founder of Work Smarter Digital. And we're going to talk about the importance of having a comprehensive marketing plan. So the purpose of a marketing plan, I think, a lot of people maybe do this when they first start their business. It's part of the business planning process is to develop your marketing plan. But if you've been around as a business owner for any amount of time, you know that your business is changing constantly. What I was doing 6 months ago, I'm no longer doing. And I have fine-tuned and adjusted my message a lot in that 6 months. I'd say since I started selling the Work Smarter CRM, which was in March of 2020, I have pivoted probably 4 times. And they haven't been huge pivots, but they've definitely been pivots that I need to adjust my marketing plan to accommodate. The messaging is a little different, the ideal client's a little different. And how I'm connecting to those people is also different. So your marketing plan is something that should constantly be adjusting with your business and something that you're looking at regularly. So what are some other reasons for having a marketing plan? So first, very clearly identifying who your ideal client is. So we've all seen those avatars, which are really helpful. But it's only one part of your marketing plan. So another is understanding your competition. Who else could your ideal clients work with? They could be a direct competitor in your marketplace. For me, I kind of looked at, I definitely have competitors that are alternative. So I looked at those companies where my clients frequently mention they're comparing me to. Or I could just be looking in the general marketplace at people that I'm trying to model my business after. So those are all competitors. And it's worth doing the analysis on your competition because you can see what is their messaging. It's not, first of all, it is not to copy what they're saying at all. It is to inform yourself on what your competitors are saying, how they're saying it, and how people are reacting to it. And when you sit down and actually look at the social media, especially of your competitors, you can also see what people are most engaged with. What images and messages are they liking? What posts are they actually engaging on? What do they like? What don't they like? And you can find that in reviews. So if they have Google reviews, Yelp reviews, if they have testimonials on their websites, you can find out a lot of information about what your ideal client is looking for, and even maybe what's kind of missing. What are they not mentioning? Is it because they don't care about it, or is it because there's a problem there? So looking at your competitor from their social media, their reviews that are available online, as well as just their content that's online. So take the time to do that and pluck out those messages that really resonate with you and what you think will really resonate with your ideal client. Do a SWOT analysis. So if you haven't heard this word before, it's used in the corporate world all the time, but it's really a very good exercise to do for yourself. SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. So strengths and weaknesses are kind of like internal. What are your strengths as a business? And what are your weaknesses as a business? And you have to be pretty honest with yourself about what those things are. And nobody's going to see this other than you. But if you're not clear on what really are your strengths and what your weaknesses are that maybe you want to fix or somehow shore up so that they're not actually causing problems for you. And then the opportunities and threats are more external. So what is the opportunity in the marketplace? Is it that you're offering a service that is fixing kind of one small problem in your marketplace that everyone has, but nobody solves well? And then a threat is something that, is happening to you in the marketplace. Maybe there's just a ton of people that do exactly what you're doing. And so it's really difficult to differentiate yourself. Or a threat might be that whatever you're offering is very commoditized if you're not specializing in some way. So those are all good things to evaluate in your business so that um, you can clarify what you're offering, your messaging to better manage how you fit in the marketplace. And then I've mentioned this a couple times, but clarifying your messaging. So this is something I found really difficult starting out as a business owner, because you're supposed to use language that your ideal client is using. And I was like, well, how do I find that out? How do I find out what they're saying? Especially when I first started, I didn't have very many clients. So it's not like I was hearing the words that they were using over and over. So I was kind of like stumped until I really started looking at reviews by my ideal clients on other things that they're using. Looking at the social media and the comments, those are really gold mines for the language that your ideal client is using. So taking the time to do this kind of assessment of competition will only help you in the long run. And it will make getting to the point where you have a message that really resonates with your ideal client faster. So that's kind of like the backdrop of your marketing plan, is just a business assessment. And then the next step is really going into a little deeper into your ideal client and your target audience. So once you do this assessment, then you get really clear on those things. And this is, painting that picture that we all hear about. I just feel like, for me, I know that I skipped a lot of the steps and I went right to creating a client avatar picture without seeing how I really fit in the marketplace. And I finally did it, but it just made me go slower. It was more difficult because I hadn't taken those pre-steps. So once you have your ideal client and you have your target audience, kind of at a general perspective for your business, if you have more than one product, it might be worth doing that same exercise for each of those products. So in my case, I sell an all-in-one CRM solution, and I'm also now offering a social media contact management solution. So it's a much smaller set of features. It doesn't have all the automation. It's a different person. Those two products are different people. And the ones that want all the automation really want to scale their business with technology. And those that don't want the automation, maybe because they're too early on in their business and it's just too much. Maybe they're making a conscious choice not to automate like that, but they still want to track their contacts and they still want to be scheduling posts to social media. So those are two different products that are targeting different people. And so sitting down and writing out the ideal client for each of those, or the target audience for each of those, really does help when you go to write up a landing page, developing lead magnets to each of those products. So it can really help you clarify your marketing. So those are all steps to getting to the point where you actually sit down and start building what is your content marketing plan. So, and that's where a lot of people start, is they start with their content, they start with their social media and haven't done all of the pre-work. And I certainly was one of those people as well. But once I did that pre-work, it really made a huge difference in being able to write content. So, and I want to just emphasize that your content marketing plan is more than social media. So social media is certainly important, but if you're not getting people onto your mailing list, or you don't have a clear nurture process, you're really missing out on being able to cultivate your future clients. So your content marketing needs to include all of those steps. So for me, I post to social media. It is where I get awareness of what I'm doing to a broader set of people. My goal with doing that is to convert those people to people on my mailing list, because my mailing list is really where I do my nurturing. And once I get them onto my mailing list, then I'm nurturing them with email. So just in those 3 steps, I have content that I have to be creating for social media. I have content for some sort of a lead magnet to convert them from a social follower to a mailing list contact. And then I have the email content to nurture them on my mailing list. And that email content might be my welcome email series and then my ongoing newsletters. And if I have special campaigns for certain promotions, those are also content that I need to be planning out. So, and then things like this, I'm doing a live stream on YouTube. So how does this fit into my content plan? So I create a monthly theme for myself, and all of those pieces align with the theme. So my social media aligns, my blog post aligns, my call to action aligns, my email newsletters align, and my live streams align with that theme. That helps me make it easier to create content that is helping move the ball forward in my relationship with people on my mailing list that I hope to become future clients. So your marketing plan is doesn't have to be super fancy. It doesn't have to be done with a marketing strategist if you don't want to, but you should be going through those steps to make sure that you know where your business fits in the marketplace, how you differentiate yourself in the marketplace, and how does your ideal client want to be spoken to, so that when you go to create that content plan, it's really speaking to them. And you have a process for how you're converting contacts into clients. So that's the next step, is what are your steps for once somebody's on your mailing list to move them to become a client? And this is different for every business. I have seen a lot of clients where they invite people on their mailing list to a free workshop. And in that free workshop, they get to know the business better. And that's where the business owner is making a more clear pitch to work with them, because now they've invested a little bit more time and they can invite them into a working relationship with them more easily. Maybe for you, it's scheduling kind of networking one-to-ones with people on your mailing list, and just keeping a recurring model for touching base with people, more one-on-one approach, which is also totally fine. or you could continue with more nurture sequences after events to get as many people to convert as possible. But that's what your marketing plan is going to help you define. Sitting down, laying out the steps from awareness to client and what the content pieces are in that process so that you're able to lead somebody down the path to working with you. And it doesn't have to be kind of a tricky sort of thing. It could be as simple as you want. And I'm not suggesting that you have a really complicated funnel at all. I'm just saying have one. Because regardless of if you've defined it, you do have one. The way I like to think of the funnel is, just it's your customer journey that somebody is going through. And you can have a haphazard customer journey, one that you haven't sat down and been really intentional about. And that makes it much harder for people to work with you. Or you can have a more intentional customer journey that is more easy to work with you. So, your clients can see the path to working with you. So like I said, you have a customer journey, which is the same as saying you have a marketing funnel. It's just your choice on how intentional it is. And the more intentional it is, that really speaks to your brand. So, and who you are as a person and what the experience will be like working with you. So it's worth taking the time to think it through and laying it out, even if it is just 4 steps. Because when you have even a simple funnel, you still need some systems to support yourself to make sure that you're able to implement on your intentions. So that's what I wanted to share today, was about marketing planning, because it's such a critical piece to your success as a business, being able to bring awareness to what you do and to cultivate that know, like, trust with your contacts so that you convert more clients. And when I work with my clients, what I find is that they frequently haven't really sat down and defined the steps. They have a ton of content, they're putting a ton of content out there, but they haven't defined the steps to actually start working with their business. And the impact is that they have people that kind of drop out of their funnel. And I call it a leaky lead funnel. So they get all these leads, but they don't have their systems connected. They don't have a way of nurturing them. So they bring in the leads and then they drop a bunch of them on the floor because they don't have a system. They haven't thought about what happens next. So only the most tenacious people will actually get to the next step because they've got to really want it. I suppose that might be a qualifying criteria for some people, but it would be better if it was smoother for the contact. So give it some thought about what your marketing plan is. And if you are looking for ways to do your marketing planning easier, I am going to be talking next week about what I've created for to help not only myself, my clients, and others with their marketing planning. So have a great rest of your week.